rolling. Okay. Off to a good start. Okay. Technical difficulties, 30 seconds in. Fantastic. All right, recognitions. This is amazing. I can't, for once, I'm actually speechless because I can't, congratulations really doesn't do it justice. It's just, I'm honored to be part of the board and for you guys to get recognized and the tremendous work that the staff does and all the teachers, and we're just so proud of you guys. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for what you guys do every day. It is truly amazing. And we're going to have Mayor Mark come on up and read the proclamation for you guys.
Yeah, why don't you come up here?
Okay, let's see.
Hey, thank you, Dr. Sal, and I just wanted to stop by tonight and just congratulate the staff at Moore Street. Bill said early on, I said, hey, congratulations, Bill, we're so proud of you, and he goes, it's not me, it's them. And it's really true. You know, as a former teacher, I know that you guys don't do this for money. I wish you did, but I know you don't. And I know that you don't do it because you get more commission or you can be able to further your career in many ways. Many of you will stay in the classroom your whole career because it's what you love to do. And being an educator is really about calling. And this is your calling. And this is what makes you your lever. This is your commission. This is your bonus check. Is being able to make this incredible goal in Moore Street School. The first public school in the city of Danbury to achieve blue ribbon status. Happen because of great staff, but also happens because of great leadership. So, Bill, I do want to publicly congratulate you for what you've done. You run a tight ship there at Moore Street many times. I'm really impressed with the work you've done. I think it's about 20 years you've been there now, right? Yeah. And I was still in the classroom when you took over. And we watched you grow and flourish and develop staff there, train leaders, and of course work with our children to make them a better lifelong learner. So congratulations to you and just owning this particular building. Being the leader that you are. I have a mayor's proclamation. It's for Moore Street School, but I'm telling you, if you wave this to the cops tonight, you can pretty much do whatever you want. That means the staff is in this, so if you only go out after, just call me up and get you in the locker room. But in all sincerity, congratulations. It says, City of Danbury Mayor's Proclamation. Be hereby known to all the mayor and the citizens of the city of Danbury, recognize Moore Street School being named a National Blue Ribbon School. And whereas the city of Danbury is proud to recognize Moore Street School for its commitment to student achievement and its empowerment of staff and parents. And whereas a National Blue Ribbon School is an honor bestowed upon only a limited number of schools in the United States of America. This year, the U.S. Department of Education chose Moore Street School for its exemplary high performance among schools in the state of Connecticut and its tremendous work in closing the achievement gap. And whereas this achievement belongs to the exceptional staff, faculty, and administrators at Moore Street School who are building a strong academic foundation for their students. They work hard every day and bring progressive programs to classrooms, inspiring their students, their families, and the entire community. So you have all made us very proud. Therefore, be resolved that I, Mark Cubat, as mayor of the city of Danbury, do hereby honor and recognize Moore Street School for achieving and exceeding academic excellence. Cited its 11th day of October 2017 with the city hall by signature and affixed with the seal of the best little city in the United States of America. Danbury. So, Bill, this is for you. Congratulations.
We're also waiting for Senator Bach. Testing one, two. Testing one, two. Just so you have a sense of what's going on, real quick, as I told the faculty the other day, there's somewhere almost 1,800 schools in Connecticut. There's 664 elementary schools. One public and one private was recommended from the state of Connecticut to be considered for the Blue Ribbon. And Morris Street was that school for us, which is tremendous. When you go to Washington, D.C., there's no less than 36,000 school districts throughout the state. They choose 320 schools a year, representing 50 million students. You guys won that. You know how incredibly powerful that is? It just shivers up my spine. When I got here, you guys were coming through the process already, and you started getting recognition from the Lone Pine Foundation. When you got that, you didn't back off. You continued to grow. When I got a call last spring, and they said, we can't believe the growth at Marshall. You want to check the data? We did. And they called me back and said, we're recommending for the Blue Ribbon. Back then, I have to mention that, when you were notified as being, that was the first year schools were notified as being on the bad list, the failing school in Connecticut. And there's a person here tonight who had to write that article. When she read that you received this award, Eileen Fitzgerald, where's her name? Stand up. She had to come back to recognize all of you because she was so impressed and felt so horrible about writing an article. She drove back from Massachusetts today, after retiring for the last 4 or 5 years, to say congratulations and thank you for coming down.
Well, thank you everyone for having us here this evening. My teachers have knocked themselves out year after year after year. And, well, actually, let me go back a little bit further. When I first got this job, I found out in a restaurant that the director at the time, Bob Tabuski, and his wife had me out to dinner. And they put a little box in front of me and said, open it. And I said, oh, these are great, I love them. There are these companies that are nuts and bolts. And he said that if I accepted these, I had to bring the school down to its nuts and bolts and bring it up again. And I did that. Laura needs help initially, and we're continuing in that work. And I made it my job to only put the best teachers in front of my kids. We went and then went to a distributive leadership model and lots of other initiatives that we implemented, and we kept every one of them. And I can now say that you're looking at the best teachers in Danbury. They are tried and proven. And I look at my job as not the principal, but as a facilitator. What can I do to help my teachers? What do they need? We are very serious about our kids, our data, our child study team, SRBI. We know our kids. They know our kids. And I couldn't be prouder to work with these wonderful, fine teachers. They are the best. And they are what got us here. So, but thank you, everyone. It was lovely to have us here.
I just want to say one last thing. I cut my thing a little short because Mayor Mark had another event. But 4 years ago, when I was elected to the Board of Education, we do kind of school visits. And Michael Ferguson and I, the first school we went to visit on a school visit was Moore Street. And we met Bill, and we really didn't know what to expect as far as a school visit. So we sat in his office. He showed us how organized he was, and what really stood out was the passion that he had for the students and the teachers. And when we walked through that school, the vibe that week. I mean, we've been back since, and it's always a great place to walk. But when we were there for the first time and we left, I remember we had a conversation in the parking lot after we left, and we were like, wow. You know, we were literally blown away because of just everybody was happy in the school, which is a great accomplishment in itself. And you know, we saw teachers teaching, and we went into a couple classrooms, and teachers would explain what they were doing, and just the passion there, I think, kind of stood out for us. So it was a really great experience for us. I'm speaking for Michael, but you know, to see that just being, you know, newly elected to the Board of Education and seeing, wow, this is like really what it's all about, and actually getting to schools. So I just want to say thank you again, Bill, for everything. And like I said, your passion really came through from that first day that we met you till today. So thank you, everybody, for what you guys do. We really appreciate it.
What we want to do is take a group photo. Is that going to work? We need for your passports. We're taking you to Costa Rica.
We're in.
Here's how it's gonna work, guys. This elementary school, following directions is important. Back row, please stand. Middle row, right where you guys are, and the rest of you guys come right down, servant leader, kneeling kind of thing.
Twins. Right there.
Eileen,
I'll get my shirt.
we need to, Devin needs to squash you guys in.
You have to get on your knees.
You keep saying that, but no.
Where's Bill?
Are we squished in enough?
Wide angle. You don't need the media stuff.
We almost have everything. Just we need to talk out a duck. No.
I don't know where to put my hands.
Okay, now change your body a little bit, something like this. There you go. Eileen, come on.
Yes, come on in.
You've been a friend of ours for so long. Hop in. Eileen's smile comes from having multiple horses now. We're happy for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Senator, come up for a second.
We don't need mine. I travel mine. I thought you meant like this meeting. I was like, wow. No. Just let me know. It's something you would say. We got our pictures up.
If you want to stay, you're welcome. We'll make a wish. You can go. Thank you for coming. Mike's, you need to turn the power on, actually.
We're just going to grab a list for public participation. Is there anyone on the list up?
Yes.
Okay, so the board welcomes public participation as said speakers. Please limit their comments to 3 minutes. Speakers may offer objective comments of school operations and programs that concern them. The board will not permit any expression of personal complaints or comments about Board of Education personnel, students, or against any person connected with the Danbury school system. So first up is Tom Young.
We're a tag team. So this is Melissa Gabriel, and we are sharing the mic. And she's first. No.
All right. So I am Melissa Gabriel, and I teach kindergarten over at Moore Street School. I'm in my 14th year there, so I've seen a lot go on at Moore Street. And Thank you, first of all, for the reception here tonight. It's been absolutely wonderful and amazing. But I do want to also recognize our paraprofessionals who are not with us at this time due to the laying off in late summer. At our school, we constantly say that the help needs to be given to the younger students, but the interventionists and the paras in kindergarten and in first grade. Kindergarten is the foundation for the student's education. Without the support of the paras, that foundation is a little bit weaker. Build upon that foundation and your structure is even weaker. I currently think of 5 students in my class that are struggling to learn their letters and their letter sounds. I think about all that my para would have done with those students. She would have pulled them into small groups. She would have worked with them one-on-one, anywhere from 2 to 4 times a day. She would have helped them to differentiate their tasks so that it was appropriate for their ability level. She would have copied and made letter grades for them to take home. I can do my best to help those 5 students, but I still have 14 others that need me. I leave you with one last thought. The students that are coming from daycare or preschool program, they're coming with in those programs, they have maybe a ratio of 1 to 4 or 1 to 5, meaning that they had 3, maybe more adults with them. In my son's classroom, he has anywhere from 4 to 5 adults to 20 students. And when they come to kindergarten, you now have a ratio of 1 to 19 in my classroom. In other classrooms, I've heard up to 25 this year, 1 to 25. So basically, I'm asking, don't forget about our paraprofessionals and the crucial role that they played in our growth. And I hope that one day they can be seen back in our classrooms. And if you'd like to come and see a kindergarten classroom, come at writer's workshop time, 10:10 to 10:50, any day in my classroom from 22, and you'll see what it's like to have 19 by yourself. It's not the easiest thing at all to do. Thank you for your time.
So the good news is that we had a great opening week. Our PTO had a very successful school picnic in September. Our open houses were on a Tuesday and a Wednesday for lower grades and upper grades, and that worked out very well. We were very well attended. I myself only had 2 sets of parents that didn't attend, so that's quite a record. We're grateful to the board for the recognition for the blue ribbon. As professionals, we like to tell people that this was a group effort which includes those paraprofessionals that we were just speaking of. The unfortunate financial state of our state has had these crazy repercussions. One other repercussion that we've had, as the board well knows, and Beaver Brook knows, is the fact that unfortunately, because of finances, you had to reduce the math coaches and the language arts coaches. This has put a big strain. They're trying to work together on this. Math coaches spent umpteen hours trying to tailor our PD to us with reduced personnel. So we're grateful to everybody who's worked hard. On a final note, I actually personally want to say thank you to Dr. Sal, Kim Thompson, and Joe Martino for the fact that those of us who work summer school didn't have to wait an extra cycle to get our paychecks. So I thought that was pretty thoughtful. And by the same token, you could have waited until September 13th to give us the first paycheck for this school year. Instead, you gave it to us the Friday before. And that was a long time between paychecks, and it didn't go unnoticed. So thank you very, very much. Have a great time.
Nancy Marcus.
Well, I'm a former board member, and boy, the place looks great. Gotta love it. I'm impressed. I am particularly impressed with Morris Street School. It is absolutely incredible. It's wonderful to see that you must have done a tremendous amount of work. I actually was a student in that school when I was just up through 4th grade. It just is so wonderful to see. As a board member, I remember going to a conference, I think it was either at the state level, but I did go to one conference that was in Las Vegas of all places, a school board conference. Yes, and it was, I think it was there where there was some information about Blue Ribbon Awards or something like that. But I know, I've heard in several places, I've heard of it people mentioning so-and-so won a blue ribbon and this. And when I read that in the paper, I was absolutely very, very excited, and you need to be very proud of the teachers and proud of it. And usually I found that the paraprofessionals were often very, very helpful, and especially in the younger kids, but I understand about budgets too, so I'm sure you'll do your best. But I just want to say congratulations and keep up the good work. I'm very proud of Danbury and of all of you and all of the teachers.
Melissa Gabriel, whatever. You want to say anything else? You good? All right, next up. Sherry, I can't get the last name, sorry. Styronowski, okay.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education and Morris Street teachers. Congratulations to you. That's a wonderful accomplishment. I come to you because I need help. I sent you a note, and I deserve answers. I have triplet girls who attend the AIS school. They are in 5th grade. By the time the school year ends, I will have had every single teacher in that building. There's 3 classes on a grade, so I will have been in contact with every single teacher in that school. Love them. My kids loved attending there. But I have been in a situation where my child's education and safety have been put at risk. I've gone up the ladder. I've started with Dr. Natowski before she retired. I've spoken to Mr. Roche. I've met with Dr. Glass. And I've tried to get answers as to what is being done to make sure that my child learns and that my child is safe. And I have really not gotten an answer. Last year, one of my children was put in danger on more than one occasion, and my straight A above average student ended off the year last year average. She did not make the growth potential that was expected by the Board of Education, by the state of Connecticut, and I attribute all of that to the disruptions in the classroom that did not allow her to learn. And I have not received an answer as to why this is allowed to continue and why my child is put at risk and what is being done to make sure that that's not going to happen to her this year. So I'm hoping that I can get answers from the board because I did not get an answer. The first answer I got was the classes were full, they couldn't change your class, the classes are not full. The next answer I got is that there doesn't seem to be a behavior problem, but there are behavior problems. So my child is who I'm concerned about. I don't care about anybody else in that class. There are 20 other kids in that class who are not learning. I've been through it last year. But I'm concerned about my daughter and whether or not my daughter gets the opportunity to feel safe in school and that my daughter has the opportunity to learn. So I sent you a letter earlier this week to give you time to think about it and maybe have some answers for me. But I really think that as a parent, I deserve an answer that has to do with what's going to happen to ensure my child will learn and to ensure my child is safe.
All right. At public participation, we don't get into any answers or personal stuff here in public, but we did get your letter, and I know that the staff is working on it, and I'm sure they'll get back to you. But we don't get into that stuff in public.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Senator McLaughlin? See you. Come on up, sir.
He's late.
have missed you. I'm a little embarrassed I'm late for school. This is at the request of State Representative Michael Ferguson. So I'm not sure why you sent me to do this, because it really was your idea, but I want to thank the leadership of Morris Street School. I've watched Morris Street go through big challenges over the last 15 years. I met the leadership team there in 2001 when I came in as Mayor Button's Chief of Staff, so I saw all of the hard work you've done. Quite a few people in this room were there at the time and worked hard on that too. So you have much to celebrate. We have Blue Ribbon schools here in the greater Danbury area, St. Gregory the Great School and St. Rose School in Newtown. And frankly, to have Morris Street School be Blue Ribbon is, we all want to shout from the treetops. We're all very proud of the work you've done. We're proud of the parents, because this can't happen without parental involvement. And so we have for you tonight a State of Connecticut official citation from the General Assembly introduced by the Danbury delegation to the General Assembly, myself, Representative Michael Ferguson, Representative Richard Smith, Representative Bob Godfrey, Representative William Duff, Representative Stephen Harding, and Representative David Arcani Jr. Be it hereby known to all that the Connecticut General Assembly hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to Morris Street School in recognition of being named as a National Blue Ribbon School by the U.S. Department of Education. This is a tremendous accomplishment, and one that reflects a true team effort of Morris Street's faculty, staff, and parents. You are shining examples of perseverance and hard work, as you have worked hard in closing the achievement gap and providing an exceptional education for all of your students. Congratulations. The entire membership extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses the hope for continued success given this 11th day of October 2017 at the State Capitol in Hartford, signed by the President Pro Tem of the Senate, the Speaker of the House, and the Secretary of the State. God bless Morris Street.
I think we should have a meeting like right now. Like it's a high note, let's get out of here. Okay. Would anyone else like to say anything before we move from public participation? All right. Consent calendar, Mr. Hall.
That the Board of Education approves the items on the consent calendar, Exhibit 17-111 through 17-112, as recommended.
Second by Mr. O'Leary.
We're so close.
Right, it's all so great. Class dismissed, you can go home now.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Congrats, thank you.
Thank you.
Student representatives, please introduce yourself and go ahead.
You can move your chairs up here if you like, around.
Come on over there, all right?
I'm Caitlin. I'm with the Student Representative base. On Thursday, September 28th, students from ACE and Endeavor program, participated in a long-day field trip to Camp Hurley in Patterson, New York. Students engaged in a variety of building activities, including climbing a 30-foot wall. It was a great way to build community among both programs, and the day was a huge success. Students in John and Kyle's advisories class will be embarking upon a project to build key chairs for elementary students in our district who have been benefiting from sensory movements during the day. The foundation of the chair will be created using a 3D printer. The students will assist with construction of the chairs. Amy Green, a behavioral specialist in our district, came to speak with students in advisories last week. We look forward to designing numerous chairs for students in our district who will benefit from them. Students in Kyle's Mountain Ward class visited the Danbury Historical Museum last Thursday and explored the many historical artifacts in our city. Future visits are planned to delve deeper into some of the collections that the museum has to offer.
First, I want to say that my sister used to be the school representative last year. She's here.
Hey, Deanna.
And then on October 24th and 25th, students will have an opportunity to participate in our first outdoor education trip of the year, where students will hike 3.5 miles of the Appalachian Trail, pitch tents, make their own food, and work as a team. We are also proud to announce that the average daily attendance rate at Fort Ace during the month of September was 92%. Students will with excellent attendance will be recognized in large guidance and then provided with a pizza lunch party. On October 28th, ACE will be hosting a breakfast with the Great Pumpkin. The event will run from 8:30 to 11:30, and families are welcome for a morning of great food. Arts and crafts, games and pictures with the Great Pumpkin, and a portion of our proceeds will go to Puerto Rico. And that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Presentation by standard-based report card update, all right.
The board may recall 2 years ago, I think, we started looking at and implementing a standard-based report card, very much different than what we do right now. It came about through conversations with teachers who felt that the reports that were going on were not reflective of the work that was being done at school by the children. When you got an in progress, an A or a B or a number, it didn't tell you what it was for. So they worked, Stephanie and Annie here, Dr. Rocco, they worked very hard with committees trying to drill down to a meaningful set of standards that would be reflective of the work that the children are doing, while not killing everyone, because you could write 5 pages, 6 pages. So they did a good meta-analysis of all the districts around, collected a lot of work. Stephanie was a Darien who had a standards-based report card, so she had some experience there. And so they melded the two together and came out with a first draft and implemented, I think 2 years ago. It got refined, and then we did it another year, and now we're piloting it 1 more year for a few more schools. And so I'll leave it up to you to talk to the board. Thank you.
Sal just talked about the standards-based report card design team, so there's no sense to go through this again. You heard some of the reasons why this was created and the fact that more and more schools are jumping on this year. So, Anna, can you move on more? This is really what it's about. It's more than just a bunch of jargon. As Sal mentioned, what does a traditional report card really tell a parent? My hunch is everybody in this room at one point or another got a B on something.
So for a back.
question really is, what does it actually mean? Is a B, a B, a B, a B from teacher to teacher to teacher to teacher? I don't know if you were like me, but I made sure that I tried to find some easy markers when I was going through school, same thing with college. So you could earn a B easier in teacher A's room than teacher B's room. Another thing is what constitutes a B? Well, 25% for tests and quizzes, 25% for homework, 25% for class participation, 25% for behavior. Well, I don't do it that way. I do 50% for tests and quizzes, 25% for projects, and so on and so forth. So the scary truth about this is, although parents love to have the report card with A's and B's and C's or 75, 85, 90, etc. on the refrigerator door in the place of honor, they really are meaningless. They don't mean a whole lot unless you sit with the teacher and that teacher really unpacks it for you. This has been a problem across the country for a long time. So that third bullet was the real challenge that we have. How do we bring uniformity and real meaning to reporting out to parents, and as importantly, reporting to kids as well? This is not a new thing. In 1995, I was asked by the then commissioner to sit on a task force to create a template for a statewide standards-based report card. That never really got much off the ground, not because of the work done in Connecticut, but the national standards were so weak that we had nothing to back into. The National Council of Teachers of Mathematics, NCTM, was the first group that really came out with quality standards, but every other content area is very weak. But if you go back all those years ago, probably more than 20 years ago, that's when this thing really started being promoted. It wasn't until the Common Core State Standards came into play in 2010, and they were voluntary, they were driven by the governors, they were driven by the Department of Education, and states had the opportunity, if they wanted to sign on, to follow the Common Core. Connecticut, as you know, is one of those states that signed on for this. That finally gave us some teeth to back into. So the real thinking behind this then is you start that last bullet, you start at the national level, and the question is, what do we believe is critical information for all kids to master? What standard do you want all children to master? Will all kids get to that standard? No. Some will surpass it, some won't make it, and some will come close or hit right on the money. But we now have a common bar that we're shooting for across the country. That national standard then has to be taken and put into statewide terms, which Connecticut has done, and each time we put out new curricula, it's completely aligned 100% to the national standards. And then what we do with our curriculum development, and this is old school on the board, the wall there, all those white binders, everything is digital now, but if you open those up, they're all standards-based. So our teaching is based on a standard we're trying to have the child master. What was missing was a report card. So we're reporting out in a different way than we're actually teaching. And that, there was a glaring gap there in our performance. The final thing might be a question, well, why didn't we do this earlier? It is a lot more work. It's not just sitting back saying, well, you know, I think Joe's okay, so I'll give him an A, but Ralph, I'm not so sure, so I'll give him a B. And, you know, you come up with some really kind of conversation around why you did that. There's a rubric, which is a scale that indicates for a child and for a parent and for a teacher, here's the continuum. If you do this, you get that. If you do a little bit more, you get this. If you do more, you get that. And then you get to where our actual target is. So it's a tremendous amount of work for teachers, and at the same time, it's also difficult for parents because it's, a parent doesn't know what a B means, but they do know that a B is better than a C, but not as good as an A. So I'd love to have my kid get all A's or A's and B's, and that's really good. But I might have an easy marker when the child is getting a C is actually outperforming the child getting a B or even an A. So that was the real charge to the team that Stephanie and Anna led. And as I turned over to Stephanie, the work that they did was outstanding. The feedback that we got was outstanding. They have moved our district forward. And with the recognition that it's more work, we've had other schools now sign on to come and be part of this. We see maybe a 3-year, 4-year continuum that every school in the area will be standards-based.
Okay, so I was going to talk a little bit about the process we went through to create these standards-based report cards. We started in March of 2015, and we created quite
large committee, and we really wanted to involve everyone. So we had several principals, we had administrators, we had all the special areas covered, representatives from them. We had SPED, ESL, we had a classroom teacher from each grade level, and basically anyone who wanted to join the committee, joined the committee. We wanted to hear from everyone, we wanted to do it right. We created a mission statement that was like what Bill said. We really wanted to provide more information to parents, teachers, and students about their academic progress. One of the more lengthy conversations we had was about the scoring. So we went from A's and B's and C's in some grades. Some grades had BGs and G's. We really, at every grade level almost had different things that we grade kids on, and even different grades. So we wanted to, whether you were in kindergarten or 5th grade, you got a 1, 2, 3, or 4. And then we had a lot of discussion of what does a 1, 2, 3, and 4 mean. And basically, if you get a 3, you're meeting the standards. And you can get a 3 at each trimester, and you're growing academically. So when you get a 3, that means that by the end of the year, you'll meet that standard for that grade. If you're getting a 4, that means you exceed the standard. If you get a 2, you're approaching the standard, and if you get a 1, that you've got some work to do. And we talked about, how do you let parents know about that when we had our parent meetings. So parents shouldn't be surprised by report cards ever. So, if we talk to parents, if your student's getting a 1 or 2, you should know that. And there should be ongoing conversations, not just at the report card time. We broke into subcommittees after we had the grading rationale so that each grade level met as a committee, and they looked at the standards that their grades were responsible for and decided which standards that we wanted to include on the report card, because there's, like I think Sal said, we could have had a book for these report cards, so we had to kind of look at the power standards, the most important standards that we wanted to put on the report card. We presented, once we decided we had the template for the report cards and we were ready to field test, Anna and I went to our schools and met with our teachers and presented the report cards. So the year before the field test, we wanted the teachers to understand what they would be scoring on. So when they went to the next school year, they knew how to think about their students and how to assess them. And we also, the year of the field test before the first trimester, we had parent meetings. So we had a parent meeting at Haystown. I explained basically what I'm explaining to you tonight to my parents, and then I went over to Ellsworth as well, and we went over the explanation of the new report cards, and it was very well received. And then last year, that school year, was the field test at both Haystown and Ellsworth.
So I just want to go back a little bit to show you, this is a sample of the the original version of the report card that's still being used in most of the schools today. And you can see it's very bare bones, so everything about it is very general categories. If you could just take a look at that reading across the curriculum, that was all of the reading grades the students in, this is a grade 3 report card, would get. Comprehending text, applying word strategies, forms of vocabulary, reading with expression, fluency. And at the top right, you'll see progress keys. So students are getting either E's or BG's, satisfactories, or progressing slowly. So are you. So this is the newest version. If you can see it, I know you have all of these report cards in your board packets. But just on the right-hand side, under literacy, you can see it's broken down into foundational skills. There's 2 areas for foundational skills. There's a section for speaking and listening skills, and then reading, literature, and informational text. So it breaks it down to comprehension within each of the genres. It's a very detailed report card. Up at the top, you can see the criteria for evaluation. As Stephanie was discussing, there are criteria for behavior for the social and personal development categories and work habits. And then there are the criteria for evaluation for the content area. There's also a 1 through 4 scale. We decided to keep it with the numeric system so parents had a better understanding, although it switches, the behavioral scoring switches with different identifiers under the guidelines. So as Stephanie mentioned, we put this out, the staff looked at it, we field tested it last year in the 2 schools. It came back at the end of the school year with feedback from parents and staff. It was very positive feedback. The teachers liked it because they felt that it was much closer aligned with the curriculum, methods of teaching, and the parents liked it because they felt that it gave them a much clearer picture on where students were performing within the standards and aligned much more closely to instruction in the classroom. Revisions were made, many revisions were made to increase the vertical alignment and to more closely reflect the curriculum changes that the district was undergoing as we adopted the curriculum. This year, the field test is going to be expanded to the King Street campus and South Street schools. They've already begun working with their staff. That work began in May of last year. The reports were given to the staffs in all 3 schools. They had time to ask questions, give their own feedback, and they will be meeting with the parents of both South Street and the King Street campus schools before the reports go on in December. At the end of this school year, we'll get feedback again from parents and staff of all of the schools that are involved. We'll make revisions if they're necessary. Presentations will be made to the K-5 administrators, and we'll be discussing how to prepare teachers and introducing the report cards to parents. And if all goes well, we're hoping at the end of this year, if there's not extensive revisions to be made, that it could probably roll up district-wide K-5 in the following school year. Any questions?
Right here.
I know you said that you had positive feedback from the staff, but it seems like this is very cumbersome for them to fill out for every single student.
And what I showed you is actually just 1 page.
Yeah.
So it is lengthy.
It is very lengthy, and so how much time would it take them to fill it out for their 20-some odd students that they have in their classroom?
It does take a lot of time,
and yet they're positive about it.
And they were positive about it because they felt it really was much more closely aligned to the curriculum. It gave parents a much more accurate picture of how students were actually performing. And they just felt it was based more on what they saw on a daily basis from students rather than based on a single assessment in a time period.
So going back to the form, was there any consideration as far as placing within the key the district standards or district expectations or school expectation in terms of 1 through 4? So if you could go back to the key, you know, where it states 1 through 4 on the right side. Was there any consideration made as far as to add a line as far as what the district expectations are or the school expectations?
But the school and the district expectations are aligned to the state standards which are aligned to the Common Core standards. So there isn't a variation between
But
what the school.
I guess my question would be then is like as a parent, you know, to read and say, okay, my daughter is a 2. You know, is that good? You know, the first thought to me would be, is that good or bad? And then to kind of translate it. Whereas a lot of times they would like to know where they stand in relationship to, you know, the school and or district. Just a thought.
Well, when they receive the 3, that means they're on the mark. They're where they should be. They're meeting the state, the school, the district standards. So if they're below a 3, that means they have some work to do.
Does it state that?
On the right-hand side, it should say met standards for the 3.
Okay, I'm sorry, I did. All right.
There is a legend up there.
Yeah.
Up in the upper right-hand corner.
Okay.
Yeah, and then right next to it, it says this student is approaching grade level standards for content taught during this period of time.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Now, will all this data be aggregated in terms of
what's that?
grading for the students to see kind of as a way to?
Yeah, this is all online, and we've been doing some work that every line item is attached to an actual standard. So, like if you're in grade 3, it starts with 3.12, you know. And so we are aggregating it, and then we are going to do some analysis on it. So, looking at the numbers, which standards have mostly threes, which standards maybe do we need to shore up or look at our curriculum.
That was great, and it's great work. I like how detailed it is, and hopefully the teachers and the parents could all get it.
Yeah, we really had a lot of positive feedback. Parents really felt that it was much more clear for them to understand, oh, this is what this means, and now I can look at this, the score 1, 2, 3, 4 and see where my child falls within that range.
And so did that, what's the word that I want? Did that make more conferences? I mean, did people come to the parent-teacher conferences better prepared to talk about their child's success in the classroom because of this report card?
I don't know if it led to more conferences necessarily.
Well, I don't know about more conferences, but did they come better prepared to talk about?
That's what I was going to say. I don't think it meant more conferences, but I think when the teachers used the report card to explain the work that the students were
Yes.
doing, parents felt a better connection and a better understanding of what they're talking about. It also helps when their child comes home with their work and they look at the report card and they say, oh, that's what that means, or that's what that's related to.
Any other questions?
And they can really see the expectations for the year of a particular grade. And this is national, so wherever you are in the United States, these are the grade level expectations.
The board, all of us keep talking about rigor. Well, I mean, this is part of trying to understand what it is you expect, kind of what you were talking about, Rich. That what we need to do is try to put out there what we expect students to do, and then see if they can rise to it. And that's all part of a lot of things that we are doing, so that it's more in line with, as Steph just said, what's going on nationally, and it's our standards. Forget about the National Common Core. Connecticut has its own Common Core. It's aligned to the national. And if a student leaves here, goes to another district, something like this will give them good judgment of where they're at progressively in terms of assisting that child in that classroom if they transfer during the year. So it works in a lot of ways. It works in a lot of ways.
I think teachers also felt good about it because within the two schools, the feedback that they gave us, we took directly back to the teams that were developing the report. So if teachers had any question about the language that was used or how it aligned to the standard or how it aligned to curriculum, we took that directly back to the language arts team, to the math team, to the PBS team. And they took that feedback and they turned it right into the report card standard. So the teachers felt they were very much heard with comments that they brought, or they gave that we brought back to the teams.
Any other questions?
I need to thank Anna and Stephanie for this work. In addition to their 8 to 5 and 8 to 7. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Text on it.
That's what I did.
Action items.
Action items that the Board of Education approved the 2017-18 goals in accordance with Exhibit 17-114.
Second by Ms. Cooper. Any questions?
Actually, nice job, Dr. Stubbs.
Thank you, everyone.
Very good. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Can I just say, I appreciate the board saying with the goals. We're able to plan multiple years, right? Instead of waiting for this, it's really tremendously helpful. It's a little thing, but it's a big thing in terms of how things play out. I thank you for that.
That the Board of Education approved the food service agreement for Head Start in accordance with Exhibit 17-115.
Second.
Second by Ms. Molinaro. Any questions on that? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, great. Superintendent's report.
Thank you. A, budget update, that's the general budget, as you read in the paper. They're iterative, and we hope to hear something in 2 weeks. That's what we're beginning to hear. There's some conversation going on, but we really don't have any real specificity. Michael was not in the room when this was going on, but we do know that they're speaking. I mean, that's a fact, right? So that is going on. Today we met with the commissioner, the students transferring to Connecticut because of the hurricanes and the floods, and in terms of how we're handling that. But her take on the budget is that they're happy, at least they're beginning to talk, and maybe that's some hope for some resolution. So we'll see. At this point, it is what it is, and I know that Joe is working with the city. The city did receive an allocation, so it can be payroll. Line in detail, right? So that is working out right now. So they did get an initial payment. Reception of B, that's going to be at this point postponed. We'll get more information on that. Let's see, I have nothing else. I'm just going to ask the cabinet that I forget anything.
I have one brief, just in case the board gets, we are seeing some breakdowns in the new bus fleet we have currently deployed. Not widespread, but some electronic issues. Bluebird is on site. There's a rep coming down actually today and tomorrow working with the maintenance crews. Not widespread, but more than we'd like to see. And I spoke to the Vice President of STA today. They're aware, but I mean, I'm sure folks have had some issues with runs, breaking down the backup buses, but not bad. Nothing with propane, electronics. So they're working.
That's it, sir.
Okay.
If I could ask Dr. Sadler, Dr. Glass, where's enrollment? Didn't we need to supply our numbers October 1?
We did, and Joe and I have been working back and forth on this. Simple answers, I think we're good. We have some tight classrooms. We were just, yesterday, I guess it was, we were over at, today,
Shelter
we
Rock.
were over at Shelter Rock. We were worried about Shelter Rock, the numbers going up and stuff. They've stabilized it down. The module units really work well. As I've been listening across the city doing my monthly meetings, the principal's saying, okay. There's always an influx that comes in around January, so we'll see what happens. But at this point in time, we've been monitoring very closely at the cabinet level. We've put staff, we've needed to put staff, but we're kind of holding the line until we have budget to know where we are. But right now, the principals have not been knocking on the door saying everybody's kind of okay.
I will say that the next meeting, I think we probably will have them laid out and confirmed.
Well, officials.
Right, official ones. Because we have to do our Title I counting on it. So we're in that along with our recruitment information. So you'll get those two things at the next meeting, a little more specificity.
Free reduced lunch is a picture of the district up 5% this year compared to last year. Not officially yet, but 57%. We were 52 last year at this time. So this is a shift.
So, Ms. Cooper, I just want to ask you about the reception, so that's canceled, it's not going to be rescheduled, or will be rescheduled?
Not right now, as far as we know. I just want board members to know in case someone asks you. This was not planned in 1 or 2 months. We've been working on this for about 8 months. We did our best. So, we looked at the numbers and they weren't what we really was looking for. We had a lot of things going on, caterers and the place and so forth. So we're looking at doing something at a little bit different time, probably in the spring. And hope it comes, together with it.
All right, thank you. Okay, so board chairperson report. Fred actually brought up, and Dr. Sauer talking about possibly having a meeting at one of our board meetings at Moore Street after
we're going to DC to Bill and the faculty rep will receive an award first week in November, probably Tuesday. So maybe a board meeting following that. If you want to have whatever they give us, you can't do this enough.
Right, no, I agree.
But I think it would be a nice kind of gesture if the board wants to do that.
Mr. Chairman, are we, I think in November, before Thanksgiving, that we move our board meeting over to that Tuesday?
Someone pull that up.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We have a meeting on November 8th and then
November 21st.
21st. 8th and 21st. 21st is the Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Oh, yes.
November 8th is the.
Well, 7th is Tuesday.
But the 21st is good. Make it a
So
short.
that'll be after you come back from.
Yeah, they'll get it on, whatever that Monday is, the 5th or 6th of November. You want to do it on that last meeting? Okay.
Second thing is about our annual meeting. I want to get everyone's opinion on where you guys would like to have it. We had it last year at Westside.
Chuck's.
The year before.
Yeah.
I'll do Chuck's for Texas Roadhouse. I'm good either way. So I mean, just from now, I mean, the next couple weeks or so, just kind of, I mean, I don't want to pick for us. I just would rather ask everybody and see what they want to do.
DHS, let's go. Vote for DHS.
In New Path Edition.
Yeah. Look breezy.
Yeah, there's a little 10 foot
Yeah.
square,
I'm fine with wherever there's food, so
yeah.
good either way. So I'm happy with it. All right, so I guess let me get back to us on that. And that's about it on my end. So I think we need to.
We do not need an executive session, I don't have anything to
Okay. All right, so I would like a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
The trip, there was going to be a trip to Puerto Rico, Rise Park, that's in council. Kids are going to go in the States somewhere, in the United States, but they're not going there. So if you hear that, that is canceled.
They will be reimbursed?
They didn't.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. No joke.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, so he was at Kathy Hall now for.
Yes.
Okay, great. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was very nice.
Mike, come on. You got my favorite.
Sorry. Hey, Joe?
Any shift in the demographics?